Do you think that someone in 2019, 2020 could grow a big Instagram account without spending money? Or do you think to grow, you need to spend? Boom. We've begun. So what do you want to talk about?
Everything.
Everything?
Yeah.
What are you thinking about right now?
Charity.
Charity?
It's weird, right?
Like the fruit?
No, charity.
Oh, charity.
Yeah, like saving the world.
Tell me about that.
I just want to save the world because nobody else is doing it.
Who do you think has done a fairly decent job of trying to save the world?
I think Bill Gates is trying hard because he's actually trying to cure diseases one by one, eradicating things that are fixable. But I think that people with infinite money, like a lot of these guys have, could make even stronger impacts really simply. Because the core of our existence is food, water, shelter. And right now, 1 out of 3 people don't have those things. And I think that is so fixable with the amount of money that's out there and how much more money, how much more generational wealth is going to happen over the next 10, 20, 30 years. Because now people that are rich are getting rich, and those people are donating their money and giving their money to their kids who are getting rich, and now they're investing in companies that, like, we just have so much more money in our world now. It's hard to think about, but I just think it's so curable.
So, like, what's your plan?
So I'm doing it step by step. My first plan is just practicing. Like in my 30s and 40s, I'm just practicing, where I make backpacks for the homeless with 150 items inside, and I give it to them. It's not going to save their life forever, but it's my practice on how I can help emergency disaster situations, homeless shelters, orphanages, etc. And so running a charity that's a 0% charity, I want to be perfect at that so that I can do it at scale. Because what's happening is, as global warming happens more, as more hurricanes happen and more massive earthquakes happen, I want to have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, hopefully millions of backpacks full of supplies on hand so that a disaster happens, I can ship same day to be there next day, because Red Cross takes 11 days on average to get there. And I don't know about you, but I can't survive 11 days without food or water. So it's not a knock on them because they're a humongous company that does a lot of good, but there's a lot of red tape. I want to remove all that, and I want to be able to ship same day to disasters right away.
Where are you at right now?
I mean, right now we're doing thousands and thousands and thousands of backpacks, but it's not tens of thousands.
You ran an event, was it last week in Vegas?
Yeah, for Thrive.
Yeah, what happened with that?
We raised $250,000 in 20 minutes. I mean, Cole Hatter and Sonia, like, every year they raise 6 figures for charities, and to be picked by them was fantastic. But to watch it actually happen live, where people are, like 70 or 80 people jumped up on stage to donate $1,000 each, and then other people started donating $5,000 each, and then speakers started donating $15,000 each. Like, it was great to see. Like, it was really cool.
When you were younger, I don't know, do you still play poker?
Oh yeah.
So, like, I think the first time we talked, I told you that I'd known about you only because when I was in high school, me and my buddies would play poker.
Right.
We'd watch, WSOP on ESPN, then we'd play and you're Chris Moneymaker. We'd pretend we were like superstars, right? And I saw you on there, and like, I don't know, to me, when I think of someone who's playing poker, I think about someone who's a hustler and wants to make money, and then I hear you talking about charity.
I've thrown like 60 or 70 charity poker tournaments. So I combine my love and passion for a game that does involve taking money from other people, and combined it with that being able to give out millions and millions of dollars through charity poker tournaments.
When did the drive for charity start with you?
It started pretty early. I was doing charity poker tournaments back in the early 2000s. I just loved poker, and I thought that was a great way, and I could always raise 50 to 200 grand on a casual Sunday to help these different charities. And then one time I raised like 160 grand for this charity, gave them the check, everybody's all excited, and I never heard from them again. And I never heard what happened or saw anything, and I just didn't feel like something happened. And so that's when the charity, I started in 2011. I was like, I want something that has a true cause and effect. If I throw a charity poker tournament or somebody donates $100, they're going to see somebody getting a backpack with 150 items. I wanted something very simple and straightforward. That's really how it came to be, is my frustration with other charities that had really big percentages going to overhead and really slow or just no communication. That frustration led me to start this.
How familiar are you with John Rockefeller and his charity work and stuff like that?
Not.
So I just finished his biography. It's called Titan on Rockefeller, and the richest man of all time, today's money. He spent the first half of his life becoming the richest man, the second part of his life giving it all away. Right. But literally 400 pages of this book is the trials and tribulations he went through trying to find the best way to actually give away his money. Because he started the University of Chicago.
Yep.
And a few years into it, the person who was giving the money to kept coming back and saying, hey, we need money for this.
Of course.
And you end up becoming just, you make everyone dependent on you and you bleed money out. And for him, he found the best way for his charity. Hopefully I express this correctly, but was like, he built a research center and he put a bunch of scientists in there and was like, here's money. You guys don't have to worry about it. Figure out how to cure all these diseases we have, because that's the best way I know how to scale what we're doing here.
Right. So the only reason, another way when people ask me why did I start my charity is I realized that I can't cure cancer and I can't cure AIDS. There's a lot of people raising billions and billions of dollars to fix both of those things, but technically they've both been cured for 20, 30 years. I mean, Magic Johnson had HIV when we were in high school, right? And the reason I say that is even when things are curable, I don't want to go down the deep rabbit hole, but we're just as a government
Why
society.
is Magic Johnson still alive?
Yeah.
Yes.
As a government and society, we are not technically able to cure cancer and AIDS, even though it's been done decades ago. And that part is frustrating to me, and I don't want to get into the political side of it for me. I want something that I could actually see, feel, and touch. And I believe the backpacks I will do for the rest of my life, and then other iterations will be how to do 3D printing of houses that are very small for people to live in, how to come up with food that's sustainable for a year, like things that you could drop off in the middle of Ethiopia or Malaysia or whatever and could feed a whole village. I want to come up with those things. That's why I like things like Charity Water, where they're going and actually building water facilities for them in their towns. You're teaching them how to fish. My backpacks don't teach you how to fish. These are just supplies, sleeping bag, poncho, a watch, some books, cleaning supplies, like a first aid kit. It's helped to get you through for a month. My ultimate goal is to be able to help these people get back on their feet. And a lot of times the people aren't willing to learn or aren't willing to take those steps to get back on their feet. So in those scenarios, I still don't want them to die. I feel like there's ways to create affordable housing and figure out ways to fix the water and food part. The food part is so simple. Like, you've got trillions of dollars worth of food sales that happen every year, and all of them have humongous 10, 20, 30% that goes to waste. It's not really goes to waste. That food can last 1 to 5 years. So to not donate that, for cities and states to regulate and say restaurants are not allowed to give away their food to the homeless, that's insanity. We can't go to Olive Garden right now and take their extra food and give it to the homeless. We'll go to jail.
Is that right?
Yeah. We'll get tickets or we'll go to jail, depending on your state. Like, do you understand how insane that is? That we have so much extra food in our society and we can't give it away.
We're also really fat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people are eating other people's food. It's not zero sum, but
right.
Yeah. I was reading this book the other day, and they were talking about, it was about fasting. You ever fasted yourself? Okay, so I fast every day, and one of the arguments he was making, he's just saying fast for 18 hours a day. That's the idea. 18-6 is what they call it. And he was saying, and if you get hungry, like you go to bed hungry or something like that, it's okay, because understand that's how most of the world goes to bed right now.
Wow.
And just put it in perspective for me, and I'm like sitting here. So, when you fast for 18 hours, like hour 16, 18, you're like,
hungry.
Shit, I just want a bag of Cheetos right now or something. Yeah, but that's how most people are going to bed.
Yeah.
When I read that, I'm like, wow, yeah, that's exactly right.
But they're not doing it for health benefits. They're doing it out of desperation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you do a lot of stuff with social media, from what I understand.
Oh, yeah.
You kind of pull some strings.
Yeah.
For those of you who are listening and are watching and don't know, like, you advise or work with most, if not all, of like the biggest brands on Instagram and on social media.
Yeah. So we spend around $60 million a year to influencers from brands. And so we've been doing it since the beginning of time when it comes to social media, and just watching the evolution of all of it. And then most of our clients from 5-6 years ago are still our clients to this day. So we're kind of the ninjas in the social media space, and we try to be nimble and focused, and we're not some huge team. We're just very, very effective.
And one thing you don't do is, like, you definitely personal brand, but it's not your highest priority.
No, not at all.
Right. So do you...
Because I don't take in clients. I don't have anything to sell, and I don't take in clients. If I do, now as I'm pushing to do more events and pushing to do more charity stuff and pushing to do more of those type of things, now it becomes compelling to me. But before, I didn't care how many book sales I had. I had way more book sales than everybody else, but I didn't do it for my personal brand. I should have. And so I was out there, like, making everybody else famous and not doing it for myself, because I didn't have a true purpose to do it. Now that it makes more sense to, now I'm putting out content every day. I'm speaking everywhere. Now it makes sense.
How did you know Instagram was going to be big from the beginning?
It was just the most effective and efficient one. There's 220 other photo and video sharing apps at the time. You can't name any of them, right?
No, well, no.
220 other ones that were just like Instagram. And the reason for it is the name was perfect. The function of it was just photos at first, and then they evolved to 15-second clips. And they were just so fast and straightforward, and they made it so clean. You just did one thing. You just posted photos in a very straightforward format, and we had ways for us to get that fix, to get that feeling, to get that serotonin. And so because of that, I just saw them as the one. And then obviously, as I saw a bunch of us get on there at the same time, the snowball started. You can't stop a snowball. It just turns into an avalanche.
You though, I remember you telling me you downloaded Instagram on Dan Bilzerian's phone.
Him and Steve Aoki and all these characters.
You got them all started on it.
Yeah, because it wasn't just Instagram. It was getting them on Twitter and YouTube. Because at the time when I started an online poker site. These were the guys and girls that were part of my team. We only had like a MySpace, and some of us had a Twitter, and so like our real true way to get out there was YouTube. So we would make videos. So I was like, hey, this social media platform's coming out. Push this on your phone. Like, hey, you should have Twitter, Stevie Aoki. Like, and it was a process to get them to download it because social media wasn't really a thing, right? And so YouTube was outward talking. It wasn't you talking to people, right? Twitter is finally like, oh, we're talking to people. We're commenting. Same with Instagram. So the YouTube is where we really pushed it. We were getting 5 to 20 million views on stuff back then, which was like a bajillion now. And so that's what we used to market the online poker site, and that's when it all kind of happened.
Is that still around?
No, online poker was shut down in America in 2011.
Is it? It's coming back now? Is that what it is?
Yeah, so it's regulated in 4 states, but the only state that matters is California, because California was 18% of the global poker market, and with that gone, it's kind of futile.
So you built this company in 2011 and it just got shut down?
No, we started in 2009.
Okay.
So we had a couple of years. We became the third biggest poker brand in the world, and then something called Black Friday happened, and all my main competitors got shut down. So by default, we became the #1 poker site. I didn't want to win that way because my competitors were dead or in jail. So I paid back tens of thousands of people the next few days and closed the company down.
Was that a struggle for you? What was that like for you?
I mean, financially it was a humongous decision, but emotionally it was no decision. Like, I wanted to be able to sleep at night, and I knew my competitors weren't going to pay people back for a long time, and it ended up taking them 4, 5, 6 years, and some of them, they still haven't paid people back. And so for me, I knew I wanted to be able to walk into a casino 10 years later. I wanted to be able to go and not be worried somebody's going to throw a tomato at me.
Yeah.
So I became the hero in the space because I paid everybody back right away. I went, did like 83 news interviews showing bank accounts and KPMG accounting and Wells Fargo and merchant processing. And I was like, look, I'm an open book. Here's how everything was supposed to be with our competitors. We're the ones doing it the right way. I'm closing up shop.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I will definitely say that in this industry, you are one of the most, if not the most, like genuine, straightforward person that there is. And I think a lot of people I know, obviously a lot of people know you, and I think everyone kind of admires that about you. I remember the last time I saw you in a casino was at the Palms. And I just remember we were in the green room before we were both going on stage, and you ran in. You were like a schoolgirl. You were giddy because you had just played poker or blackjack or something for fun. You won 50 grand in like 2 minutes, and you made your buddy like half of it, and you were all excited about
because
that.
A bunch of the other speakers, they all bought little pieces of me, and so I played extra focused. And I told them all, I said, this is not normal. Like, I turned I think 16,000 into 53,000 or something like that, and it was in one shoe. And I was like, guys, this is not normal. Don't gamble. Don't do what I'm doing. Like, I was doing some really aggressive betting. And they were all drinking and cheering. And it's like 1 PM. And but it worked out perfect. And now whenever I go to the casino, they're always trying to buy pieces. It does nothing for me for them to buy a piece because I don't gain any equity from that.
Yeah.
It's just the concept that they want to feel the
rush,
feel the gamble. Yeah.
And they also assume that this must be how all gambling is.
Right.
You just win. That's how it works.
Yeah. I tell everybody, I said, look, there's a reason that the Palms has 3 towers. The Venetian has 4 towers. The Wynn has Encore. Not because people win. You cannot win. I play in very short sessions, very, very strategically. If you play for 1, 2, 3, 4 hours, it's mathematically impossible to win, even if you're perfect. Doesn't matter how good you are. It's just math. You're playing a game where if you play 1,000 hands, they're going to win 540 hands. You're going to win 460 if you play perfect. If you even have a little bit of error, they're going to win 600 plus hands. You're going to win 400 hands. You can do the math. So they just want people to play as long as possible, have as many drinks as they want for free, and they want 10 people playing craps at the same time and 10 people playing this game, Pai Gow at the same time, baccarat, because mathematically it's literally and physically and mentally and emotionally impossible to win long term. So my strategy is essentially I try to play as close to perfect as possible with a little extra aggression, really, really short sessions. I don't give them a chance to win it back. And I have a stop loss. So they're never going to get me for the 50,000. I'm never going to buy in for 50,000 at a time, right? Or if I am, then my goals are different. My math is different. The concept is if I'm buying for 10 grand or 20 grand or 30 grand, they can't get me for 50 to 100. But vice versa, I don't have a stop win. So if I win 30, 40, 50, or 100, I can do that. But they can never get me for that.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Even much higher ceiling than a ground floor.
Exactly.
Yeah. Who would you say is the best poker player of all time?
So in every sport, there's like discussions like, oh, is it Michael Jordan or Kobe?
Sure.
Is it Phil Mickelson or Tiger? No. In poker, there's one guy, and it's one guy only, and it's Phil Ivey. Nobody's close. There's nothing to talk about. It's just Phil Ivey.
Why do you say that?
He's won tens of millions online. He's won tens of millions in live tournaments. He's won $1 bajillion in cash games. He plays every single game. He's got all the bracelets. He's done everything you could imagine. He's done it at scale over the test of time.
You've sat a lot of tables with him?
I've only played with him a few times. I was a CEO of his company for a while.
Okay.
And then he took off to Macau to go play some game for like 7 months straight. I was like, buddy, you're too busy for me out.
So, but being around him and seeing obviously the results, how good he is, what did you see, whether it's his mentality or the things that he did that allowed him to get to where he's at?
All the mentality. He is absolutely relentless. He is absolutely fearless, and he can see through your soul. His cards are irrelevant. There's a video of him, one of these hands, on his new masterclass he just put out. They show in the commercial where he's got like a random hand like Jack 6, and there's like Queen 6, and there's Jack 7 on the board. Raise, re-raise, raise, re-raise, raise. And Phil Ivey just looks at him and he's like, I'm all in. He has absolutely nothing, no way to win, no backup plan. He loses this, he loses the tournament, like, and you just watch him like a lion just staring at the guy like, I'm all in, with nothing. And it's a perfectly fitting commercial for why his masterclass is interesting and why he's in the info product game now. He is the one. And there's no, like, second place is like way down here. I've actually read a few books about him. I thought you were going to say Phil Ivey too. He's just, I don't know. You're right. There's something about, he sees through your soul. I see that when you're talking about him. He's like one of the, I don't think I've ever seen him wearing sunglasses at a table. For what?
He doesn't need to.
No.
Yeah.
I bluffed him one time. We were playing in like after a charity event. And I remember he had a Ziploc bag with $700,000 in chips in his little Ziploc. They just had whipped out of his pocket. And we're playing, and like 2 hours into it, and this is where I'm a kid. I'm like late 20s at this point. And the table is like the CEO of a huge golf company, the CEO of a huge this company, the owner of the hotel, the owner of $1 billion hedge fund, and like me, Phil Ivey, Johnny Chan, one other, and Doyle Brunson. So it's like the legends and me and a bunch of bazillionaires. And I remember this hand where he bet out, I raised, he raised, and I waited like 20 seconds, which I normally don't wait, and I raised the minimum. And he looked at me and he just folded his hand. He was like, I'll bet you, he's like, I'll bet anybody 10,000 that, and I said, wait, before you finish your sentence, I am bluffing. He's like, you're not bluffing. I said, no, I'm bluffing. He's like, you can't be bluffing. I said, well, you can pick one card. You can pay $5,000 per card. You can buy both. You can buy one. So we have this whole back and forth. He's like, Dan, there is no way you're bluffing. I said, all right, here's a free one. And I flip over both cards. I had absolutely nothing. Like, so far away from nothing, I just wanted to pull off the bluff. And I felt like in that scenario, because other hands I had were really good, and he knew that I was in a scenario versus poker titans and business titans, I wouldn't make that move. Is why I was like, okay, here's my moment in time. And then I told the whole table, I said, hey guys, I'm just wanting you to know I'm retiring from poker now. I'll see you guys later. I got up and walked out of the room.
That's amazing. That was it.
I came back in 2 minutes later, but I just wanted for effect.
Yeah.
I will never forget that moment in my life.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, is it typical for most players to remember hands that detailed, or is it only on the hands where they beat Phil Ivey in one hand?
You actually only remember the hands that you lose. I couldn't name you a single hand that I won to get to the final table. Not one. That was 5 days of poker. And other championships, I can't name any of the hands that I won. But with extreme detail, I can tell you the hands that I lost. Where I was standing, what I said, which way I looked. Like, I can see the hands with absolute clarity. Like, I can remember what I whispered that wasn't even on the camera on some of the YouTube videos. Like, you can see them. There's an ace-queen versus king-king hand where I'm like, tell the guy he has kings. And I whispered, like...
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I assume the loss is more painful and you get more emotions running through you, so you're going to be more heightened. You remember that stuff. I remember Bozarian telling me that he didn't like playing anymore because when he won, he didn't feel that good, and when he lost, he felt like shit. Right. Is it that way for you too?
So I'm mad at myself when I lose over competition or of hands, but I'm not mad about the money because to me it's math. I know going in playing blackjack or poker, mathematically I'm supposed to lose along the way. I can't go win blackjack every time. That's not possible. I can't go win a poker every time. That's not possible. I've just taken away a lot of the things that would help them beat me. And if I mess up, if I make a wrong decision, that's what makes me mad. Me losing money, like if we start flipping coins right now and I lose 10 grand, I'll think about it a lot, but it won't be because I didn't mess up. I just flipped coins. But if you and I had like a game of chess for 10 grand, I would think about it for the next 12 years, right? Like if you beat me in chess right now for 10 grand or for 500 bucks, I would think about it for 10 years. So the money part isn't the why I get upset. It's myself. It's the competition with myself, not even against you. You could be infinitely better than me. I played at actually that's funny, at Phil Ivey's charity poker tournament many years ago, like 2006. At the Golden Nugget, he hired a grandmaster at chess. And the grandmaster said, before you play, you pick a spot on the chessboard. That's where I will checkmate you. If I don't checkmate you there, you win. So it wasn't an option about you beating him. It was just, can he checkmate you in that spot? If you lose, you got to donate $1,000 to charity. Let's just say I donated a kidney to charity because I played him for the next 2 hours straight, and he checkmated me in a spot every single time for the next 2 hours.
That's unbelievable. Was he...
In 5-minute sessions, so you can do the math on how much I donated that day.
Did he play Phil? Also?
I don't know.
You don't know. You were like, we're playing again and again.
There was people waiting to play, and I didn't care.
No.
And it wasn't like I was even trying to beat him. I was like, can I lose somewhere else? How do I lose so he doesn't checkmate me there?
And you
I couldn't do it once.
That's unbelievable.
I'm still mad. I'm mad thinking about it.
We got to get him back here.
I don't want to. I'm mad at him.
You could go like a 12-hour round and like just set a clock, 12 hours. You do it in this room, put him here, and just record. You'd stream the whole thing live and just see if you can get him to checkmate you somewhere else. You're like, no, it sounds painful.
I like his side. I'll bet on him.
So we were talking about Instagram before. Do you think that someone in 2019, 2020 could grow a big Instagram account without spending money? Or do you think to grow, you need to spend?
Sure. It's a lot tougher. Obviously, the algorithm made it a lot tougher. Collaborations are still the only way to really grow without spending money. So spending money is the same thing as a collaboration, meaning if there's a video or photo about you and you pay accounts to post about you, if let's say you're in the beauty space and you pay @beauty to post about you, you're in the fitness space and you pay @fitness to post about you, you will grow by spending money. Same concept if you're a beauty influencer and you have 3 beauty influencer friends and you make content together, their followers have already proven to you, they've already shown you that they're willing to follow a beauty influencer. If you and your buddies go work out on Sunday and film content for 3 hours, and one friend has 18,000 followers and she's got 100,000 and he's got 44,000, you make fitness content with them, you will gain following, cost you no money, and you were already going to work out with them anyways. Now you're just more cognitive of, you're just thinking about it more like, I don't want to call it a strategy with your friends, but there's a bit of strategy with your friends. Like you are all growing each other by doing it. Those collaborations are really the only true way other than just going viral with something catchy or quirky or crazy.
Which you can't really bank on.
No.
But the people out there who are telling others that you can grow an account if you just post good content and you stay consistent, that's BS.
It's not just BS. They're wrong and they're lying.
They're lying. Well, what's funny about it to me is so many of the people on Instagram, I'm not going to name names, but they give out advice like that or something similar, or don't pay for your audience. Or they'll say things like that. Yet all of them grew their account.
All of them have spent 6 figures with me.
Yeah.
Everybody you're thinking of in your head at this exact second, I have hundreds of thousands of dollars in wires from them.
Yeah. To grow their account.
To grow their accounts.
Yeah, all of them.
All of them. Every single one of them. Which is fine. It's just the concept is they grew up in a time where you could just make good content and people share it, and you could get people to repost your content for free because they wanted to. The other influencer accounts and the Millionaire Mentor accounts were posting for free and resharing for free because they just wanted good content.
Mm-hmm.
But now if you go to Millionaire Mentor, you have to pay
mm-hmm. because
now they have millions of followers. And there's 700 other Millionaire Mentor type accounts that want to get paid because they have infinite free content now. There's hundreds of Jason Capitals and Dan Fleyshmans out there that are doing different versions of us. Maybe they're smaller, medium, bigger, whatever. They are all providing content. Maybe it's worse than ours or similar, whatever. But the accounts have content to post for free. They don't need us anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So now if you want Millionaire Mentor type account to post you got to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So the only true ways, just doing good content is insanity to think you're going to grow. Can you grow by accident, meaning that something goes viral? Absolutely. You need people to share that, or you need to collaborate with people for that to grow.
Mm-hmm.
If I take that bottle of water and I wrap a $20 bill around it and I put it at the bottom shelf of a cooler, you won't pay $2 for that bottle because you can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Eye level is buy level. And so for us to want to go follow you, I want to go follow at Jason Capital, I need to see you.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't see you, I can't follow you.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how much value you would provide me for that $2 for the 20, I can't do it because I don't see you.
Yep. What do you think people are missing then on Instagram? Like, what are the biggest mistakes you see being made?
The main thing is that people post for themselves and not for the people that are following them. They keep trying to impress the people that are following them when they don't realize they're already drinking the Kool-Aid. They already clicked the follow button.
Mm-hmm.
You won. You don't have to keep pushing them, right? So they're making content solely about themselves. They're doing 17 selfies in a row, not realizing that those people have already seen you. People become numb to it. Nobody's sexy 17 times in a row. No food looks good 17 times in a row. No beauty thing, nothing is cool 17 times in a row. You have to do what's called pattern interruptions.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do 3 selfies in a row? Go for it. But then your 4th one should be you walking around the house as a real estate agent, or you at the fitness gym teaching people, or you doing your beauty blog, or you talking about food, whatever it is that you do. You want to post 2 more selfies? Go for it. Then post about your dog, post about your grandma, post about something that's part of you and your story. Want to post a couple selfies? Go for it. But then start talking about the books you're reading or the things you're doing at work, or how you making us feel part of it is what the point is. And by people just posting selfie, they're missing the point. We're already there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to sell us. I'm here. I want to be here. I clicked follow. So now it's about making reasons for me to want to share your content or like your content or comment on or tag my friends is what you really want me to do. You have to make content for me to tag my friends. You posting a selfie, I'm never going to tag my friends under any circumstance. You posting a funny meme or you teaching me about, oh, if you do this to your house and you can make it a smart home for $7,000, it'll increase your value by $30,000. I'm going to tag 7 of my friends that are in the real estate game. Like, oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Spend $7K, increase your house by $30,000. Listen to what Jason just said. Does that make sense? Like,
useful. Yeah.
You make things that are useful to your people instead of useful to yourself.
Yeah. No matter where we go, like, I mean, you're traveling all the time. I'm always in airports. I'm always looking at what people are doing what they're doing in general. They're always on their phones.
Yes.
It's insane. It's funny because I personally don't like Instagram. I don't like any social media. I don't know how you actually feel about them personally. I don't like any of them. I don't like being on it. I wish it didn't exist. It's just part of the business and I see it and I'm able to impact people, so I do it. I don't like it.
Sure.
Where do you think this all goes, like 10 years from now? Like there's like we have terms like digital dementia now. And I mean, like there's people who literally, they don't remember what they were thinking about 3 seconds ago. And it's constant because they're constantly getting interrupted by notifications and Instagram and Facebook and all this stuff. Where do you see all this going?
So we're going to have some big shifts. Right now, you're having people spend infinite time per day on their phones. That part's not slowing down. The hard part is they're getting more and more reason to stay on. People are providing more and more content for them to stay on. Every single day, Jake and Logan Paul are getting 10 million views a day. That means there's 10 million humans watching it every day. Every day, Fortnite's getting another 42 million people playing on Fortnite. I can keep going, right, across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Consumerism, mental consumerism, is happening at scale, and it's not slowing down because there's tens of thousands of new podcasts, not a few thousand. There's tens of thousands of YouTube influencers, not 400. There's all the numbers are growing at scale. Now there's tens of thousands of people making video game content every day, but people are watching. I don't know how, but people are watching. People are watching the Avengers. They're watching Fortnite. They're watching this. They're watching that. They're on Spotify. They're listening to Tyga. They're consuming. They're buying Kylie's lip kits. Like, they are consuming at scale. So there is no version of it slowing down. And we've already had scary things happen that you would think, like, wait a minute, maybe people have a wake-up call because people are getting hurt by this or sad by that or emotionally depressed or suicide. It's just not slowing down. The flip side of it is there is positive things that can happen from it. Like I talk about now with Dribble Too Much, the guy that trains people on how to dribble basketballs. 5 years ago, he came to LA and he was sleeping on my couch. I flew him out there. He had no money, nothing going on. And I would drive him over to Diddy's house. He would train Diddy's kids for a couple $100. And now the kid's 4 years later doing Nike commercials with Steph Curry, and he trains Drake on how to dribble a basketball. And he's making 6-7 figures a year. We have Kevin Ostage sitting in the room. When he first 2 years ago moved here, he was sleeping in a closet at a fitness influencer's house. I didn't even know he was sleeping there for the first few months. He lived in there for 8 months in a closet. Now, luckily, we have him in the room because Paris Hilton loaned him to me because he's flying around the world with Paris Hilton and doing videos with Martin Garrix and like making 6 figures a year. So there's a positive side of it that people that take the effort and will go live in a closet or go live on my couch or go do the work and put in that free work and free content, put in those man hours, those people are now making 6 figures a year or 7 figures a year and traveling the world dealing with celebrities because they stood out from the tens of thousands that just kind of want to do it. They want to be a fitness influencer, but they don't really want to be one. They want to be a videographer, but they don't slide in 60 DMs to actually go video people or will do it for free. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, it's the old Ronnie Coleman line, right? Everyone wants to look jacked, but don't nobody want to lift these heavy ass weights, right? And I think part of it is there's like the creator side and the consumerism side,
right?
And the only people you're talking about who are succeeding, they're on the creator side. No one's sitting there like consuming all this stuff and their life's getting better. To me, that's the issue. Like, you're really passionate about the charity stuff. I'm really freaking passionate about that. Like, I see so much potential in people and I see them getting dumber, and it really it hurts me, man. Like I'm very calm and cool most of the time. That's the only thing where I get riled up because I just think people are, I think they could, like, you're talking about feeding the world and saving the world. Like, you know, like Mother Teresa talked about, if everyone just cleaned their front porch, the world would be so much better. Like, everyone they can be doing so much more, right, and they can't even control themselves anymore. It's self-medication when they go on these phones and they're consuming all this stuff. And that scares me. If I can get more, like, so here's my conundrum, Dan. Sure. So I can get more people to go from consumerism to creator, that's great. Well, if fucking everyone's creating, then who's there to consume?
I completely agree, except there's billions of people that will never do anything.
Yes.
Except for consume.
Yes.
There's going to be 10 million people a day that just watch Jake Paul and are happy about it, and they never will actually become Jake Paul. They just won't. There's hundreds of thousands of people that are going to buy your courses that are never going to go do anything. That's not your fault. It's not our fault. I spend $500,000 a year throwing free events for entrepreneurs. Most of them aren't going to do anything. But then the shining stars happen and they go create jobs. They go have 8-figure exits. And I feel like I'm doing something for these entrepreneurs. That makes me feel good. But all we can do is teach them what to do. All I can do is throw my events. All I can do is help these people, but I can't make them actually do anything. We can lead the horses to water. We can't make them drink. Right now, people are getting filled up with information. So their gas tanks are full. They just don't want to go outside and drive the car. So it's hard for us because you and I are action takers and are willing to get on planes and fly around the planet and put in the work and do all these things. 99.99999% of people aren't. The only way we can change that is just to keep doing what we're doing and telling them about it, but they have to be the ones to change. We cannot put on their shoes and lace them up and make them go out into the field. We just can't.
Yeah.
All we can do is give them all the right tools, and these are the tennis shoes you need. These are the things you need to work out. This is what you should put in your body. This is what should be in your mind. Now when you go on the field, you're prepared. It's up to them to go on the field and then go on the field every day for years. It's easy to get on the field once or twice. Like, same thing, January 1st. The gyms are full January 1st. Have you ever gone back on February 7th?
Empty.
Right.
Yeah, empty. Yeah, in that, such a good book, Talent is Overrated, he talks about 10 years of silence, which is like required for mastering anything. And that's the 10 years of silence that absolutely no one wants to go near or no one wants to touch. And like you're talking about the workout thing, we in marketing, we always have this joke that the best offer you can make in fitness is I'll do the sit-ups for you, but you'll get the six pack.
Nice.
And that's what everyone wants, right? Like, and that's unfortunate, right? You're like 99% of people, they don't want to go to the gym. They don't want to do the workouts. They just want the six pack.
Even if they want to, they won't.
Even
if they want to, they won't.
Yeah.
Even if they know I can cure myself if I go do this, they won't.
Yeah. They literally won't do
Right.
it. Yeah. It's always interesting to me, man. Like, when people are talking about working out and they're like, it hurts or I don't like it, it's painful. It's such a strange concept. Like I do yoga every day. It's like it's important practice for me.
Does it hurt?
Yeah. Well, when I first started doing it, we go into like a war. Are you familiar with any of these crazy terms that they talk about in yoga? So warrior is just a lunge, right? But you'd be holding it and your leg starts burning. And the first couple of weeks I'm doing this, in my mind, I'm like, fuck, this hurts so much. And I have like a 65-year-old grandmother next to me and she's crushing me, right? And then after a few weeks, I remember I was doing it once and I thought to myself, I was like, does this actually hurt? Or is this just a sensation in my leg? And am I calling it pain?
Right.
Maybe it's not.
Exactly.
Maybe it's something different. And, a few years later, now that I do it, now it's like, I love that feeling. So when someone's like, I go to the gym and it hurts, are you sure?
Right.
Right. Maybe you're just feeling something you haven't felt in a long time called challenge.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I could rant about obesity for a while, but I won't. But
people are making decisions to not go work out.
Do you think they're the ones making the decisions, or do you think that they're not even there? Because we both know a lot about the human brain.
Yeah, but they're not programmed to sit at home. I mean, they're not programmed to not, like, if somebody's 320 pounds and they know they're unhealthy and their doctor tells them they're unhealthy, their friends tell them they're unhealthy, they don't feel comfortable going into the pool. If they feel comfortable with it, that's a different story. But health-wise, it's not a different story. If you're 320 and you're 5'7", you're fat, you're overweight. It's a health thing. It's not about me being fat shaming or it's science. It's biology. You are overweight, it's unhealthy. If that is okay with you, that's confusing to me. Because the doctor told you, your friends told you, the mirror told you, your body's telling you when you feel bad and you have to go to the hospital. Everything is telling you. Not one single person is telling you that it's okay, and they still won't take the effort. That is not programmed for them to sit at home. There's nobody rooting them on to sit at home. So how do you get them to take action, or why does that happen? That's what we've all been trying to figure out. They'd rather spend $47 to buy Fit Tea and hope that it makes them go from 320 to 220.
That works though, right?
It does, yeah.
You drink the tea.
Just swipe up.
You don't have to do anything else.
No.
Yeah. So you, in the campaigns you guys do you turn down opportunities and clients that you don't vibe with?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's been so many companies that come, like when they had like the reverse phone lookup thing, those guys were spending so much money. They were offering 300%, 400%, 500% higher rates. And I just would never take it because it's a scam. Like this reverse phone lookup, like, oh, you want to see what your boyfriend's looking at on blah, blah, blah. Oh, you want to hack into their phone? Just do this it's only $9. And then they bill you $9 for the next 90 years. Like the money isn't a thing for me when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah. I personally, in my own businesses, I can't promote things that I think will make people like worse off and feed negative emotional patterns. Like that one right there to feed that part of someone that wants to spy on their boyfriend or girlfriend. Right. I can't be a part of that. It just
they offered a lot.
You what?
They offered us a lot.
Well, it's also scary to me because why are they able to offer so much money?
Because they're crushing
so many freaking people.
I can't explain how hard they crush it. No, like it would it would boggle your mind.
Is there anyone in any industry where you were blown away by how much money they actually make?
Well, I mean, Fashion Nova, obviously. Like I watched it from before day one, and now to be doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions, almost $1 billion. Like it's just the numbers. It's only been 5-6 years, and to do that with no investors, no partners, like just blood, sweat, and tears. It's amazing.
Do you see these giant corporations that haven't taken advantage of influencer marketing the way they should? Do you see them in the next few years smartening up?
Well, they watch their competitors die. Like I work with one of the largest female fashion brands in the world that's got a ton of stores, decades of head start, and they just won't spend money on social media marketing, and they keep saying they want to. And I've sat in the room over and over and over with them, and they asked me to come and shake them and make us do it, and I've given them budget after budget. They've watched Charlotte Russe go away, BB go away, BCBG go away, and I can keep going. These are legacy brands. When we were in high school, every girl we dated had those brands. That's what they wore. That's what they wanted. None of them have stores anymore. Barely any of them have an online presence. They're all bankrupt. And so when I deal with brands that have tons of stores or tons of head start and tons of money, and they're just watching Revolve have $1 billion IPO, they're watching Fashion Nova be worth billions of dollars, they're watching Pretty Little Thing do hundreds of millions in 2 years. They're watching these people do straight up e-commerce from zero to a couple hundred million with no investors, no experience, just young guys with heart. Why do you want to be Blockbuster versus Netflix when you've seen the show? Like, Blockbuster had 4,500 stores. It's not about the story that they could have bought Netflix. That part's compelling in itself. But it wasn't like it was a one-day thing. Didn't just Netflix came in, it wasn't like, what's his name, Reed came in and met with him and that was it. That was their opportunity. They had another decade to pivot. And I don't even just mean pivot, just also do e-commerce. Just also do an online offering. I don't mean close all your stores, just also do what they're doing. And to watch so many major retailers, so many major chain stores going broke, like think about Toys R Us. They could have been the best e-commerce freaking store on the planet. You know how much fun that would have been? Toys R Us e-commerce and a monthly box from Toys R Us, a monthly box from them would have done 80 million a month. If they would have done a monthly box that was 20 or 30 bucks, they would have had millions of members. Millions and millions and millions of members. Their email list was like 29 million people. You don't think that they could have converted
1%?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Like they wouldn't, 1% would have been 290,000 people paying 30 bucks. That's 10 million bucks a month. There you go. You're not bankrupt anymore. You're netting 120 million a year.
What do you think their fear is?
The problem with C-level executives is they do exactly what they can to not get fired.
There's no incentive for them. It's all about covering their ass.
It's all time. They want to spend as much time at that C-level position as possible without ever rocking the boat. They don't even want people to think they're on the boat. They just want to be on the boat and not talk to anybody, not look at the other C-level executives, not look up, not look down. Don't want anybody to think about them. They just want to exist on this boat without interacting.
Not realizing the ship is sinking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're on the Titanic.
Yeah.
And it's happened over and over and over. And you just watch every freaking week another major chain store going bankrupt. And it's mind-boggling.
Who do you think is doing it right?
Gosh, it's a really short list. I don't know.
No one?
I don't know. There's not, I can't think of any, I mean, obviously Walmart.
I mean, I saw on your story today, you posted something that Unilever is going to start. They say they're going to start tapping into more influencer stuff.
They this morning they invested 12 million into a platform that we use called Creator IQ. It's a platform that essentially I can plug in Jason Capital and run a campaign, and it'll show me all these different posts and all the things that Jason Capital did. It'll show me in real time all that analytics and algorithms and numbers and reach and all that. Unilever just invested 12 million into their company. Like
which by the way is nothing for them.
It's lunch money.
Yeah,
they made 12 million while we were just talking about them.
Yeah, and another 12 since we talked about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, like so that's not a serious investment. Like
right, but for the social media space, it is. Like, there's all my competitors. I have no investors. Like we've considered it, but there's no real reason for us because, unlike every other social media agency, we net profit every single month. Every other company runs their companies upside down. I'll never do that and never comprehend it. I run my businesses to make money, and I want to be profitable. I have 32 investments into companies, and their whole focus is to build their brands and be profitable. I can't even, I stutter thinking about all these companies like Uber losing 240 million a month and Snapchat clearly stating we will never be profitable. Like, okay, why are you publicly traded? Why are you taking investor money? Like, I see these companies that are out just proud of the fact that they're never going to be profitable. To me, I don't understand it.
I don't either. I don't get it. And I'm kind of a neophyte of that kind of stuff, but from what I see, it blows my mind when I see so many companies like you're talking about who are they're not making money. There's no sight of making money anywhere in the future, and people keep giving them money. And I don't know who's
dumber.
Yeah, who's dumber here? Is it the investors giving them the money?
It's for sure the investors.
It's got to be. Yeah.
They're just banking on the fact that somebody else is richer and dumber than them. Think about that. Their whole all they're banking on when you invest in something at 30 billion valuation that net loses 2 billion, your entire bet is that somebody will buy it later for 60. That's it. Because even if Uber or Snapchat's a great example. If Snapchat started they figured out a way to become magically profitable, they will still never be profitable. Because all they'll do is increase everybody's salaries, increase their bonus structures for Evan. That's it. They will never be profitable by decision. That's mind-boggling. Mm-hmm. That's frustrating. Because some of these companies, they make decisions that make it very clear that they will never be profitable, or that they just don't want to be. Because if you become profitable, then your valuation is based on earnings. Uber's worth 60-something billion or more than $60 billion based on a net loss of 240 million per month.
Which makes no sense.
Correct.
Yeah.
You look at all the scooter companies, all worth 1 to 3 billion in the first year. None of them can make money. You're riding scooters for 25 cents a mile. They're riding on scooters that cost $500 to $800. Do you know how many miles people have to ride for you to net out 25 cents a mile? Hold on. Do you know how many of those scooters get thrown into the garbage or left on the side of a tree or thrown for fun in the high school parking lot or thrown in the back of people's trucks? Do you know now how many people you need at a $500, $800 scooter? Wait, do you know how much it costs to ship a $500 scooter? That's 26 pounds. There's another $80 to ship it. Mm-hmm. Wait, hold on. Now you got to repair it. Oh, wait, sorry. One more thing. Every single day you're paying $5 to $8 per person that recharges your scooters. That means you need to do 20 to 40 miles to break even on the charging alone per scooter. I don't know about you. I don't see those scooters doing 20 to 40 miles a day.
I don't either.
You know why? Because they only have a 26-mile lifespan.
The scooters?
Yeah. Wow. I know so much about it because I bought half of a scooter company years ago. And so we had a scooter company. And I got out of it because it was stupid. Uh-huh. It doesn't make profitable sense.
Yeah.
I could go on and on about that.
I can tell, yeah.
And those companies are all worth $1 to $3 billion in 12 to 16 months.
Yeah. That's why, I don't know, man. It's just hard. Like, I see those companies and the valuations they get, and I'm like, this is worthless. This is not a real...
They're not a business. They're a company. They're not a business.
Correct.
Businesses are meant to make money.
It's to provide profit to the shareholders. That's the whole point. Yeah. They don't do that. What do you call that then?
I don't know.
We need a name for it or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Big dumb business or something. We need a name for it. Cool. All right. Well, I feel pretty good about this. You feel pretty good?
Yeah, I'm great.
Yeah, I'm pretty expressed. Cool. All right. Well, everyone, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And any last words?
Just get started.
Just get started. Not on a scooter business, though.
No.
Anything but a scooter business.
Anything. No, not anything, but just get started.
Solid. All right. We'll talk to you guys later.
Should have rolled cameras on that one.
Wait, what?
It's good rehearsal.
Hey, did you find that valuable? If so, we just put together a brand new program where I'm going to be mentoring you every single week, giving you a new high-income skill every single week, the same way I've mentored my first 2 millionaire students. If you want to join us, click that link in the description and claim your 7-day free trial so you can see why people are buzzing so loud for this. Make sure you hit that subscribe button too, and I'll see you soon.